Hey guys, good afternoon. It is 1 o'clock Central Time on September 16th. It's September 16th, yeah, I'm pretty sure. This is Kyle, aka Vulcan Wolverine. Just wanted to make a video. I woke up about an hour ago and I walked the pooch. And I wanted to make a video. There's the Orkin Man driving out of our parking lot at the same time as me. There are a lot of people at the condo now who are kind of walking around at the same time I'm walking around, or going out at the same time. Just license plates that aren't or weird or something like that. So they've kind of taken over this area. But I did this morning. I wanted to make a video right when I woke up, about an hour after. I wish I would have just made it right when I woke up, because that's when I'm hurt the most. That's when I wake up and I'm starting to feel like a fibromyalgia feeling, but it feels like it's been caused by microwaves all around my head, in the top of my head, my chest, and my upper spine down until about the middle. And what I think that my attackers, the people who work on me in shifts with the remote neural monitoring, I think what's happened is, they've gotten the guy upstairs to help, definitely, so they've been able to get some of the high-pitched sound through, because I think they can order some of this stuff off the internet. So they get their center of military grade, remote microwave weapons, and then they can just order some stuff to kind of wear you down off the internet. If they can target you and surveil you with the expensive stuff, then they can kind of order a few extremely high frequency emitters, high pitched sound emitters and stuff like that, and really target them at you. One thing my friend did show me, a target individual in the city, he showed me that a sine wave sounds a lot like the tinnitus sound, or the high pitch sound. So I think that it is an electromagnetic frequency that carries a sine wave. So you guys look up sine wave, on your phones, and kind of listen to that. And I think the sine wave has something to do with it, something they put in to shoot to our ears, and it sends an electrical impulse, to the cochlea, or wherever you pick up sound, and then that's picked up by your brain. So that's how a lot of the V2K works, and a lot of that tinnitus sound works too. But I just wanted to do an early morning video, and it's raining here in Louisiana. Changed light on me right when I'm coming out. I wanted to do this because it's when it's like, I had a lot of directed dreaming last night. They're able to do a lot of stuff with remote neural monitoring, that they're not able to do so well when I'm awake, when my conscious mind is fighting. I've got some kind of white spot on my glasses. But when you're in a sleep state, they're able to use the remote neural monitoring better. Your brain's not defended. You're not conscious, you're in a theta state. And they're able to do a lot of this remote neural monitoring, which I think a lot of the pain, because it feels like my muscles are tight on my head, around both sides of my jaw, and, under here, my spine. It feels like fibromyalgia just caused by microwaves. And what I think it is, I think that, it's the remote neural monitoring during the night. They're really pumping up on my pain centers, and pain to certain nerves. So if they feel really chewed up. Whereas, about a year and a half ago, or probably like a half a year ago, they were still really drilling the ELF beams into a certain spot. If you go back on some of my videos, and that's why it's a good thing to make a lot of videos, because you can go back and see how their tactics kind of change. I'd wake up at my parents' house, and the side of my head, just one spot on it, would be really burning and hurting. Now it's like they're covering a bigger area, because they've just been sitting there with me so long. The remote neural monitoring works better, and they're able to do a do a localized area of pain instead of just shoot me with a beam. Plus, my defenses really do cut down on them just shooting a beam, and that it buffers out that beam. But it is a lot harder to stop the remote neural monitoring. That's one of those things that's harder to buffer out. Now the beams and the high-pitched sound are pretty simple. The defenses that I use, the Altera whole house bugs, the Keyway personal defenders really work on those things. I don't want to air out my car just in case. I don't think they put anything in my car. My tires are pretty bad, so I'm kind of getting worried about that, especially when it's raining. But that's that's just something I wanted to talk about on this video. Really, it's a lot of pain when I wake up, but it's also not just that. It's like, I used to wake up with a song in my head, like every morning. I just have some different song in my head, and that was natural. It was a natural thing for me. Now I can tell, like, I have no music in my head because I'm hurting so bad. I'm so depressed when I wake up, but they'll force a song. They'll force a song that I've maybe had, like, sang a lot in the past or something like that, and I can tell that it's artificial. It's part of the remote neural monitoring, and it comes through as synthetic telepathy. Like a phrase that's being pushed in by microwaves. And I noticed that a lot of the depression, the bad feelings last. It's like when I'm asleep, they're working on that. I wake up, and about 2 hours after, I kind of shake it off. But these guys, for me, and I know for a lot of y'all and a lot of target individuals, they do most of their work while I'm asleep. Especially the remote neural monitoring, like triggers, subliminals, NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming, where they're saying certain words or something that are supposed to kind of psychologically hurt you. The microwave images and phrases, what they do is they work on your unconscious brain, and that's why you have directed dreaming. I mean, they can manipulate actual dreams that you're having or put in whole new ones. They can microwave whole new ones in. And what they're doing is they're practicing to do that while you're awake. Like, so while you're awake, you may be saying a phrase or something like that, and then at the end of it is something completely wrong. And that started happening to me. Like, I'll be thinking a phrase in my head, like I'm gonna do this, and then something will pop in that is just has nothing to do with that, and it's it's bizarre and offensive. So at night when they're working on us, they're working on stuff like that, so that they can do it when you're awake. And I'm not sure, it's probably pretty complicated, the conditioning. I have heard a lot of people, T.I. friends, Tyrone Dew, I don't think he'll mind me mentioning him. They say they get forced speech. I think a lot of target individuals do. They get forced speech where they'll make them say phrases through their throat because they pick up a lot of the phrasing, like what you're thinking, like overtly in your visual cortex. They pick that up by small vibrations in your throat or your jaw, and then they can reverse that somehow, and they can push in a phrase, to where you'll say it or whatever, or move your body. Some people say they actually have their whole body taken over. I think, I've had convulsions. I do have phrasing in reaction to some of the voices that's not mine on the V2K, and then they'll slip in a phrase with synthetic telepathy or active remote neural monitoring. I guess we need to really come up with some terms that are going to stick and new semantics for this stuff. But I think y'all know what I'm talking about. But I think they have actually tried to get forced speech on me, and it doesn't work on me for some reason. I think some people's brains are like, they're not. It's not about a weak or a strong brain. It's just their brain is different, and those things work better on them, which is dangerous because, like, in my situation, I say, I guess I won't go into this too much, but they can't make me do anything. Like, they can't move my body They can't make me say anything. You know, they can get me really mad, and then they'll hear what I think, like the worst words that I've ever said. But they're not forced. It's like stuff that I'm coming up with, that's in reaction to being like extremely, feeling extremely angry, that pumped up feeling. But they haven't been able to actually force phrases and stuff. But I do believe, you know, that this happens to TIs. And I was just thinking yesterday, kind of about that, you know, how we're different, and, you know, this stuff works differently on different people. And you know, so I can sit here and say, you know, they can't force my body to do anything, and they can't force me to say anything. But a lot of people, that is true, and that makes it more dangerous. So I can't make blanket statements about the targeting. But anyway, well, I'll just kind of go past that subject. You know, last night was great on the conference calls. Please get on the conference calls if you're feeling alone. You know, you can, you know, we do have specific topics and stuff like that. Last night on the first conference call, with my buddy Mike, you know, one of the moderators gave her story. And it was you know, she's been a target individual for like 13 years. And so she just gave her background and her story, and it's really, you know, it sucks to hear it, because they're really bad stories. And it's like, she has kids, and she has, you know, a husband. She's done really great things in her life, and it was because some guy was obsessed with her, and he had a connection to this program. And so then she has to live in hell and worry about her kids, you know, have a husband that may be doubtful of what she's going through, all because of some obsessed guy had a connection to this program, had a connection to this equipment and stuff like that, within an agency or something like that. And that's very sad to hear. You know, mine was you know, a little bit more convoluted, and kind of ruffling people's feathers or whatever, and then finding out, you know, that I was getting attacked with something, that I mean, to know that women can go out, and if some guy is just obsessed with them, can start hurting them or their family. You people who are non-TIs really need to look at that situation, and then, you know, kind of juxtapose it with what we're being told, that, you know, oh, they're trying to catch terrorists, so they're surveilling people. You know, just a very strong lady. I mean, just a strong, awesome woman who has done so much for the TI community. She just found the TI community after about 12 years or whatever. So she was dealing with it alone for a long time. But now that she's in the TI community, she's making waves. I mean, she's getting stuff done. Just awesome. These moderators, awesome. We can learn a lot from them. You know, they're ready to fix this. They're ready to stop this program. Then on the next call, it was her call. She had, you know, one of the other moderators who's also just done so much for the community. He gave his story, and you know, he's been my mentor through this. You know, kind of bringing me through. You know, and he, you know, it's a very awful story. You know, it's awful what happened to him, but it's good to hear their stories, and just kind of, you can see your situation and compare it to theirs, and, you know, they have advice on coping skills. And, you know, he's a very hopeful guy, you know, saying, one of the great things he says is, he's like, you know, everybody on these calls, we're going to be here for the end of it, and he wants to see it. You know, I totally believe that. You know, I woke up this morning, though, just thinking, man, how do we stop this? Because I was like, you know, it seems like the people up at the top who rolled this out, who are using this equipment to do a lot of things. They're using the directed energy weapons to do a lot of things, to false flag people, you know, to experiment with the brain and what they can do subliminally. You know, to learn more about, like, consumer products with microwaves and electromagnetic frequencies. Just so many things that I haven't mentioned. I mean, like a kind of they do human trafficking with this. Some of the people in the NSA use this equipment to surveil their ex-girlfriends and ex-wives, and they call it the love int, like love intelligence. And this is like, I mean, they can make women feel like love towards them. And it's, I mean, last night they were saying, that's somebody, said,